HarperCollins and HarperAudio present The Influence of Soros, Politics, Power, and the Struggle for an Open Society by Emily Tamkin, read by Jamie Renell. Thinking can never quite catch up with reality. Reality is always richer than our comprehension. Reality has the power to surprise thinking, and thinking has the power to create reality. But we must remember the unintended consequences. The outcome always differs from expectations. George Soros. And it seemed to them that they were within an inch of arriving at a decision, and that then a new, beautiful life would begin. And they both realized that the end was still far, far away, and that the hardest, the most complicated part was only just beginning. Anton Chekhov. Even when we're empowered, it doesn't mean we're in control. Lorene Scafaria. Introduction. If one believes conspiracy theorists, world leaders, and conspiracy theorists who are world leaders, George Soros's influence is everywhere and all-encompassing. In the past few years alone, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has accused Soros of trying to divide and destroy nations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu posted on Facebook that the Hungarian-born Jewish billionaire was coordinating with the Iranian regime by communicating with its foreign minister. Romanian political kingmaker Liviu Dragnea suggested first that non-governmental organizations linked to Soros had financed evil in the country around the time of anti-corruption protests in the capital of Bucharest, and then that Soros was behind an assassination attempt on his life. Former Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico blamed Soros for the series of protests that ultimately forced him to resign, and U.S. President Donald Trump alleged that Soros was the force behind those protesting against then Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who was accused of having attempted to sexually assault Dr. Christine Blasey Ford while in high school, and was nevertheless confirmed to a lifetime appointment. Trump also suggested that Soros was responsible for a caravan of Central American migrants heading toward the U.S. border, echoing Soros's most committed foe, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. Orbán, who was once given a scholarship to Oxford by Soros's organization, successfully ran his re-election campaign by maligning Soros and his foundations, accusing him of trying to flood the country with migrants. That was not enough for Orbán. He also worked to banish Central European University, which Soros founded in Budapest in the early 1990s, in order to ensure advanced research, teaching, and intellectual inquiry would exist in Central and Eastern Europe. It is not only heads of government and state who look to blame Soros for the ills of the world. According to many in the right-wing media, he is remaking America in his own nefarious image. In a broadcast on criminal justice reform, Fox News host Tucker Carlson said Soros is hijacking our democracy. Conservative outlet The Daily Signal warned its readers to beware Soros-funded hijacking of U.S. census. When Facebook, which is not technically a media company but is nevertheless where many of its users get their news, was looking to do damage control after it let misinformation run rampant on its site during the 2016 U.S. presidential election, it hired a Republican-linked public relations firm that attempted to discredit the company's critics by linking them to Soros. To those on the political left, although Soros is not the stuff of outright conspiracy theory, he is still sometimes blamed for global ills. In 2015, leftist outlet Jacobin ran an article titled "Counting on Billionaires," which argued that philanthro-capitalists like George Soros want us to believe they can remedy the economic misery that they themselves create. In this telling, Soros is responsible for the ills of the global financial system and papers over his misdeeds with self-serving charity. While the right obsesses over the idea of Soros as a sort of godfather of the left, some on the actual left call for soaking the rich and argue that every billionaire is a policy failure. On the right, Soros has enemies. On the political far left, he has few friends. This book is not a biography of George Soros. A biography of George Soros would include interviews with
Sample complete. Ready to continue?